Hello, and welcome to episode 12 of Rhythm and Wit, the podcast and video series where we explore and discuss the creative and artistic expressions of artists and performers in Oklahoma City and its neighboring cities, which you may have heard referred to as the greater metro area. My name is David Steele. I am a bass player, a music producer, a graphic designer, a photographer, and a film hobbyist. My co-host is Nicholas Campbell. Nick is a stand-up comedian, a singer, songwriter, guitar player, electrical contractor, a husband, a father, and my best friend for almost 25 years. In today's episode, we like to welcome our first ever stand-up comic guest, Jon Wallen. Jon was recently crowned funniest comic in Oklahoma City by funniestcomic.com. He also recently returned from a trip to New York City where he got to do a few shows and explore the open mics in New York. We wanted to have him on to ask him about how the trip was and what he did to prepare for it. He also told us some great stories about his time doing stand-up so far. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and podcast feeds to keep up with new episodes that drop every Friday. We hope you enjoy today's episode, as we greatly appreciate your time and attention.
5, 4.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Rhythm and Wit. My name is David Steele, and with me is...
Nick Campbell.
Today, we like to welcome our first ever stand-up comic guest, Jon Wallen.
Yeah, we did it, guys. We did it.
Thank you for coming.
The funniest in OKC.
Yeah. Officially.
That's officially
won that title.
A big thing.
How's it feel?
Yeah.
It feels cool, I guess. I feel like nobody believes that.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
They didn't believe it in New York. I was on a show and they were like, "What's your credits going up?" Because they're about to send me up. And I was like, "Oh, I was named funniest comic in OKC." And he just goes, "All right." And then didn't say it.
What?
That's not a real credit.
Yeah, I don't know. It's because they do that, but they do that all that company or whatever that does it all over this country, right? So there's a funniest comic in Kansas City or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So I wonder if they must have heard that before. I don't know.
What kind of credits were other people using?
Yeah.
They're like, "This person writes for the Stephen Colbert Show."
Yeah, shit, like really cool stuff.
They're like, "Oh, sweet. Like real credits."
That's awesome, though. That's cool to get to work with those kind of people.
How'd you get on the show?
So I just reached out to some comics that I know. I reached out to like Hamza Chowdhury. He's from Oklahoma. He lives in New York now. He's the homie. Super cool. He hooked me up. Reached out to Mia Wilson. She's a friend. I met her through Blue Whale Festival, the comedy festival.
I've seen the graphic for that anyway, maybe on your page, but that's a cool thing. So
you just got back from New York a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons why we brought you on, so we kind of want to just pick your brain about, being from Oklahoma, and then what'd you do? Just decide to go up there? Did you make a plan? Did you call anybody before you went up there?
So originally I was going with local comic Caleb McCurry.
Is it out of frame?
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to your mom's garage.
I'm your host, Caleb.
You gotta give it time for the logo.
Okay, yeah.
He really wanted to go to New York. He's like thinking about moving there, so we were like, this would be perfect. We'll see what it's like. And then we were kind of just looking for like a time to go. And my friend Sam Wagerzinski, he has a band called Ben Quad.
I've never seen them. I know that name. Real quick about that band. I know this because they're named after a Star Wars character.
Yep.
Ben Quadranero from Episode 1, the pod racer.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I'm familiar with that band. That's
Super cool band. They're awesome. They started in 2018, I think. But they're on tour with Hot Mulligan.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
I was like, they're going to be in New York. This is a perfect time to go.
All right, that's cool. So you guys got to hang out with them and stuff and chill in New York.
Yeah, it was super awesome.
That's cool.
Like, I went to their, like, first show where they're, like, playing in a basement.
Yeah.
Where people are sitting on the couch uncomfortably.
Oh, nice. Those are fun. Yeah.
Now they're, like, 1,000-seat
Packed
things.
in.
You're like, oh, my gosh.
And then you went to a 1,000-seat show?
Yeah.
So you're like, hey, here's a basement.
Yeah.
And then here's actually what you want to do.
That's awesome.
You got to do those. So that's like their open mic? Like in New York. I don't
mean,
know
basically for
what music
musicians,
scene is in New York City. I'm sure it's better than here.
I mean, but that's similar to what we do. I mean, I've always, for my bands, it's like, what was the first show that each band that I've ever played in was a house show?
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
you remember
no
that one
matter
we did
what.
in Norman?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did one. It was just like a punk
In a
house,
basement,
like a collective
like that.
house.
Yeah.
House shows are fun.
Dude,
Yeah,
it was
I
pretty
love
rad.
them.
It was pretty rad.
I went to a house show that Ben Quad was at, and it was at this like infamous house known for like throwing house parties, like crazy house parties, and it was super fun. And then I'm pretty sure it was either like the next day or the next week it was raided by the DEA.
Was it?
Damn.
Nice, dude.
That's
that probably
epic.
That's it. That's that house's credit. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That's awesome.
Well, so you went out. Caleb ended up not going, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
Caleb came down with a sickness. I think
Yeah.
he got
Yeah.
COVID or the flu.
He felt a little
So,
disturbed.
mm,
You're welcome.
Hell yeah.
but it happens, you know. We'll
Yeah.
make another trip, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Now you've been there, so you know that know a little bit about it. You can hopefully reach out to the same people next time. So it's a good thing for comics, I'm sure, to get out. I mean, similar with musicians. That's I've known that. I've never been in a band to get out of Oklahoma City yet at all. Like I played in Tulsa and Oklahoma City. Had some shows booked in Wichita in 2020, of course. Those got canceled. So, but it's like for bands, you want to start going back to the same places each year or whatever, and you make those contacts. It's got to work the same way with comedy. It's probably easier even with comedy because you can just fly to any city. A band can't really do that.
Yeah, I don't really have to like bring
Yeah,
anything
you
with
know.
me, so it's pretty convenient.
All right, so you do you walking around. You got $35. I'm doing all these mics, right? You're doing the mics. How did you jumped on a few shows? Was that with Humza's help and stuff?
So I got one from Humza, one from Mia Wilson, and then one from Neil Rubenstein. Put me in
nice.
contact
Nice.
with a lady named Abby, and she was super helpful.
Killer. And good crowds.
Oh yeah, the
Receptive.
shows, like, they had great crowds. Like, the people were all there to laugh, ready. Like, it was awesome.
That's
It was
cool.
super
Did
cool.
you have to fight? You know how sometimes you have to fight here at certain shows or bar shows and stuff like that. Was it the same? Was it bar shows or was it actual? clubs?
So 2 club shows, and then what would be like a bar show? Yeah.
Yeah, like Rad Bar or something, you know.
It was like at a brewery, but it's like not in the bar area. It's
nice.
like behind where all the barrels are and stuff. So
Oh, killer.
it's cooler than like a bar show because the people there are there to listen. It's not like you're like just throwing it at them.
And then each show was paid show.
So the first club show I did, I don't think it was a paid show. It's also like their definitions of club are way different than what we imagine a club to be.
Okay.
Like the Tiny Cupboard is like the club I played on Monday, and that was like, I'm trying to think of something like adequate in size. Not bigger than Grand Royale.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Like,
So pretty intimate. Yeah.
but then, yeah, none of the rooms were like big rooms by any means. Even like the mics were in like very like tucked away places.
That's kind of cool though.
Like, there was a mic that was basically in an office building, janitor's closet.
Real, yeah. The
And there were like
room,
15 comics in there.
Oh, really? Damn. Well, did people pay to come to these shows too? Like, you had to pay to get in?
So for the tiny cupboard, I think you did. Yeah, I think all of them were. All of them except the one that I did that was like a bar show were paid.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So after you got done, did you run into anybody that you knew? Any comedians that you've seen? Bigger ones, smaller ones?
I mean, I ran into like comics that I see in like my algorithm, but I'm almost positive that they're in my algorithm because of Hamza. Because like all these people are just friends with Hamza.
And they all post and do stuff in the same.
So it was cool seeing them. I don't know if it's like actually anyone like, oh, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But to me, I was like, oh, that's pretty sick.
But yeah, it's like you
like
recognize those people, and that's a good, it seems like you're already on if you know about the network that exists there, it's like you can get in, meet those people and get to know them.
Did you do any Facebook groups before you went up there? Like, hey, I'm coming down, anybody help out? Or?
I didn't. I mean, I was told that's like a good idea, but I was like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. How much would you say a guy like me or somebody who just wants to go to New York, try it out, how much would you say to budget to just go up there and come back for a week after a week?
I budgeted way more than I actually needed because I was so paranoid that I was gonna like run out of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't know. So like realistically, not including like your plane or like hotel or anything like that.
Just
just like day-to-day stuff. I was spending like less than like $70 a day.
That's not bad.
Mm.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
And that's like with all the like train fares and like
to
all
get
that.
around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's like just getting cabs or Ubers and stuff like that too.
Because like sometimes it's like, yeah, I could make it back to Hamza's by the subway, but it's also 2 a.m.
Yeah.
and I've taken the wrong train 4 times, so I'm just gonna take an Uber home.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably a lot easier to get around there than it is. I mean, Oklahoma, we have terrible transportation like that, but in those cities, it's cheaper even Ubers.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Well, even that rail car downtown, man. I mean, that just feels like a huge waste.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not knocking it. It's really cool. I mean, I love when it's right in my way and I'm trying to get down the street.
I know, right?
There are definitely people that like that benefits their life and that are glad that we have that like little trolley car thing. But if you really want like mass transit, we need like a way more in-depth system.
I don't know what it is, but I mean, Oklahoma City is just too spread out too, so that's a big issue with it. I mean,
it's a city made for cars.
Yeah.
But
and cows.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a horse in the south side. Yeah, you can just have one.
Yeah.
1 horse, 5 chickens.
That's the law.
I heard that you should get a horse because you can't be charged for drunk driving if you're on a horse.
Yeah, because the horse isn't drunk.
Because the horse isn't drunk. Yeah.
He's actually not. It's the first Uber.
That's interesting. You still get public intoxication, so that's the problem.
But let me ask you this: on the run up, how did you prepare to come out to New York?
How did I prepare? I don't even know if I really prepared. I guess I did some like local shows that had more restrictions than I normally do because I was under the impression New York is not going to be as open about joking about certain topics.
Right. Now, what would those topics be?
What did they tell you?
From experience, they're not really cool with jokes about gay things.
Okay.
Like, at all.
Yeah.
They weren't particularly cool with jokes about race either.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I get it. It's like a more multicultural place, but in my mind, that seems like why race jokes should hit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they all know people. That,
Like here, you could say a joke about a race, and Oklahomans are like, I've never met one of those people. You know?
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, they don't even get the context at that point. That's a good point, yeah. But it does make sense because it's probably a lot easier to get in trouble with race jokes, you know, more multicultural. So, I mean, they're like, no, just none of it, you know, I mean.
I feel like there would be more of a shared knowledge between the people because you're there amongst it, you know, you're like, oh, yeah, that is true. Or, oh, yeah, I can see that. But it's almost like when you call it out, they're like, hold on, let me see if everybody's cool first. It's like, all right, we're good, we can laugh, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so you kind of planned on trying not to step on any toes.
Yeah,
Okay.
try to be a little more tasteful,
Yeah.
I would say. But I think like it was almost like for not really. Like at open mics that kind of mattered. They were not about like stuff like that. But like on the actual shows, I was more tame than a lot of people.
Yeah.
Really?
And that does not happen here.
I mean, I don't even think your stuff's really that risque. You've never said anything that's so untoward that I was like, oh my God.
I don't say like that wild things.
No.
And I think if you follow the logic, I mean, actually typically on the right side of like whatever problem. But people hear like these buzzwords and they're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, they shut down.
This is what he believes.
Yeah.
Well, and that's like, as comedy goes, you know, sometimes you play the opposite side to get the funny on the other end, you know? And so it's kind of... Anyways, all right. I got a lot of New York questions.
Ask away.
Cool? Yeah, keep going with the New York stuff.
So did you research any mics to go to? How'd you know where to go? You just kind of followed around Hamza? Or?
Yeah, I pretty much just hit up Hamza, and because I stayed with Hamza, so I'm like
nice.
sleeping in his apartment. So we would go to mics together. He told me like what ones to hit. It wasn't like something like I really looked into before because they have so many. It's not like necessary.
Yeah, you can you can just Google it, I'm sure, and walk down the street.
What'd you hit up?
Any places in particular you...
The first mic I hit was Black Cat. It's like a cafe. So for context, every single mic felt like doing JJ's Alley.
Oh, nice. So everything was a deadlift. Gotcha.
Yeah. It's
Are
like
people not paying attention?
people are not paying attention. They don't want to be there. They have 3 other like mics that they need to go to. So as soon as they hit theirs, they're out. They're like, we're not waiting around to see other people.
That's what I've heard it's like. I just listen to podcasts and comics talk about living in San Francisco, and that's what they do. They'll hit up 5 mics in a night, and then the comics will just, and that's how they do, get their reps in.
Yeah. Well, here too, we'll be like, all right, I'm going to stay and watch three people, and then I'm going to go to the next one. So in that way, I don't feel bad, But they're just like, I ain't got time, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not here for your feelings.
But they're there to really work, like you were saying before. I mean, they're putting in the work, so...
Yeah. They're proving they're hungry, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But it was an interesting mic. I don't feel like a fruitful mic, per se.
Well, you got the experience of it, and like you said, I like that you said about JJ's, because that's a good thing for people to know. If they're, go to JJ's every week if you really want to get better and get ready for the other cities out there like that.
JJ's is one of my favorite mics in the city. It's like such a controversial opinion. People are like, I hate JJ's. But without a doubt, if you can do JJ's, you can do anywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always loved it. Yeah, it was the first place I bombed, and then I didn't do it for 8 years. So, then when I came back, I was like, oh, everybody has this experience. It wasn't just me.
Was just like, you probably shouldn't maybe start there then.
But just know that you're going to feel bad after. That's right. But no, it's tough. But once you do get them at JJ's or
that's the most exciting feeling. When you win over JJ's, you're like, there's nothing that could stop me right now.
That's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good tip for sure.
It's a good little bump. So the mics, I heard that you have to like pay to get into some of them.
Yeah, all of them I did. You had to pay to get in. It ranged from like $5 to $10-ish.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, let's say you hit one mic a week, or one mic a day, that's $35 a week in just like open mic fees.
Oh, every day, yeah, that's a good point.
But some of them were like cool, and they would like give you something with it. So like you'd get like a free beer.
Yeah,
or,
that's pretty good.
There was this one cool place. I'm not gonna say a name because I'll probably say the wrong name. But they gave us an option for what we could get. So you could get like a free beer, a free thing of fries, or a free taco. I was like, that's pretty convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if people maybe not drink. I mean, like me, not that I do comedy, but it's like, okay, getting paid in beer, it's like I don't drink, so.
Yeah. Well, I usually I try to do a beer or something while I'm there. So, beers now is like $5-7.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
yeah.
so they're not
especially
far off
in New York, I mean, it's probably way more.
Oh, yeah. Stuff in New York was pricey.
Right.
Yeah.
But.
So, free beer is like, that's $15.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude.
I think it's funny because, like, at the exact same time I'm there, like, paying to do open mics, we have Othello's going on in Oklahoma where they're, like, paying you to come to their open mic.
Weren't they giving away like $100 and like a bunch of gift cards?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every comic that went up got some prize.
Yeah, dude. See, I love going. I like Othello's. It's a tough one just because it's like, it's a late, it's harder to get up in the morning, but it's just, and it's a tough mic. Well,
it's all college kids. Yeah. And if you don't line up with what the college kids believe, they let you know.
Yeah. They're very vocal. Yeah.
That's funny.
Have you ever had a run-in with that up there?
At Othello's?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you have. In OKC, like, doing your style of comedy.
Yeah, people get mad at my comedy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, let me think. There was one time... Well, sometimes I also don't handle situations well.
I get that.
Because, like, I've been heckled before, and I just shut down in the sense of, like, I'm done telling material, and I will attack this person personally.
Is this in Bricktown?
No. This was in Del City. It was this...
Oh, they deserved it.
It was a wild show. People were yelling out. This dude... I'm, like, one joke in, and he's just like, that's dumb. And I lost it, and I was like, you're dumb. No one cares what you have to say. If you mattered at all in life, you would be on the stage and not having to watch. Shut up.
Yeah.
And he was like, what did you say to me? And it's like one of those moments where you're like, I either have to double down or I have to run out the door right now. Yeah. And I was like, are you too stupid to understand English? Shut up. I don't care.
Yeah.
And he said, I said that's dope. I was like, I stand by what I said.
So just a slight misunderstanding, man. And that's the importance of communication. That brings me to the next thing. You got a degree in strategic communication.
Strategic communication.
How would you think? How does that help you deal with hecklers? You think?
How does it help you?
In that moment, could you tell us what about strategic communication helped you handle that situation?
A lot of people like to bag on strategic communication, like it's not some important degree, but I feel like you could understand every word I've said so far.
Yeah.
So that's
100%.
Yeah.
You know,
That's also English.
Strategic communications, it's I don't know, it just helps you like think about things in the moment, know why you believe things. I don't think it's like a particularly useful degree. I think it's like it makes you more yourself. Like I know why I believe what I believe and I think what I think because I do now do research into everything and I'm just skeptical.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that's the way to be. I think you want to question everything and always test different hypotheses where you can. What made you want to get into that field anyways? Like what is it that you wanted to understand maybe yourself more or how to communicate better?
It's like I was probably about like 22, just no discernible life skills whatsoever, you know. Nothing that could be turned into a job. And I was trying to get a degree in graphic design, and then I was like,
Great
I
degree.
am a very bad artist.
It's a tough field, too.
That'll hold you back.
Yeah, it did. And then I was like, what's kind of like graphic design, but without drawing?
Yeah, well, okay, it makes sense.
And I was like,
then.
marketing. And then I was like, this is like numbers and stuff, and I'm not really about that. What's kind of like marketing, like strategic communication. So I just kind of like ended up there.
That's cool.
After I couldn't do anything else.
Yeah, you kind of, but it's kind of, you're kind of drilling down into maybe why you wanted to actually do graphic design to begin with was to communicate. Because as a graphic designer for 20 years, like I know a lot about it, but it is a communication, visual communication. I mean, my degree was in graphic communications. It's, you know, that's what it was called. So it's fascinating. But yeah, that's, I didn't even think about it like that. I was thinking more strategic communication as like negotiation or something like that, which is probably...
That'd be awesome.
I mean, that's kind of where I was thinking when I think of that. But
like
it's
hostage negotiation.
Yeah, it's awesome. No, I read a book recently. I have the book just like last month. It's written by this guy, Chris Voss. It's called, I told you about it, didn't I? What was it called? Never Split the Difference.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a great book about, he's a former FBI negotiator. And he came up with all these tactics, but they apply to every conversation, especially a negotiation of any kind. But I love that book. I highly recommend it. But that's not what it is. But it's more so getting a message across efficiently.
The way they describe it is it's a business communicating outwardly to the public.
Okay,
so like
cool.
it's like
So it's
advertisement, public relations.
into marketing and stuff too. Yeah. Cool.
Without having to focus on like
Right.
analytics of things.
That's I probably would be interested in that topic because I'm the same way. I hate marketing. I do it a lot, but it's like I know a lot about it, but I actually hate the analytical part of it. I like the graphic design of it and the kind of promotional aspects of it, you know, running ad campaigns or whatever, but not so much in the, you know, numbers and analyzing data and shit. So, but yeah, the communication aspect is much more appealing, would be to me too. So that's cool.
Well, did comedy have a hand in picking that at all?
Yeah.
No, because I started comedy way after.
Yeah. How long have you been doing comedy? I wanted to ask you that.
I'm coming up on 2 years,
Okay, cool.
so still super new. December 1st will be 2 years.
Nice.
Congrats, man. You've gotten really far.
Thank you.
Yeah, obviously you're the 2
Regular
years
host.
funniest comic in OKC.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not that hard. No. no, I'm just kidding. There's a ton of great comics in this city, so that's a great honor, actually.
Yeah, it's super cool.
And there was a ton of people in that contest that, I mean,
There's
they're
at least
all
Oh, yeah.
very
40 or
funny
something?
people.
there were
so,
some real killers.
Yeah.
Like Brandon Killo easily won that.
He's very funny. He was supposed to do your show the other night.
Oh, I
and,
put a cork in it.
and which he got on a bigger show.
Yeah, with Damon Wayans Jr.
Yeah,
Which
so,
is perfect pairing for him, honestly.
Mhm.
You
Oh
know?
yeah.
but we were talking about how it's like he would have been great. He's great in any situation, I
Yeah.
feel like.
But that's why I keep him, like, I'll bring him, this is why he's always at Lively.
Yeah.
Is like, I'll do my host set, and then if I falter, I'll just, Brandon's always right after.
Yeah.
And he
He'll
always
bring
brings
it
it back up.
great.
And so he's more of like a safety net. Of like, and I like watching him. I mean, I've seen.
Oh yeah. Brandon's one of
stuff,
those
dude.
people that you could throw him on legit almost any show and it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
I feel like he has a great connection with all kinds of people, or he finds a way to connect with any crowd in a way.
Yeah. Well, he has that harder edge where he's like, hey, I used to be a drug dealer and I used to be this rapper, but then he's like, but I'm also a nerd.
Yeah.
So he'll go from like, I grew up on 10th Street to, who likes Spider-Man?
Yeah,
You know?
and Harry Potter.
And he
all
always
that. It's
hits
like,
my like 1990s kid
Mhm.
stuff, you know. Anyways, this is just us butter in his bread.
But you know, like you said, beating him out for the actual title.
So you're better than Brandon. That's cool, man.
We've all heard it. I wasn't the one to say it.
You heard it
Campbell
first here.
and the whole city of Oklahoma City.
Get better, Brandon.
But let's see. I had a few kind of. I wanted to ask you about something you got to do recently. I just saw on your Instagram. You did a show with Jay Chandrasekhar. I said it right. Director of Super Troopers, one of our favorite movies.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
With Marty Johnson, who we really
it
like.
was super awesome. That was like a dream come true.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, I remember watching like Super Troopers, Beer Fest.
Yeah, all of their what is it called?
Broken Lizard.
Broken Lizard. Yeah.
And I watched that with my uncle. I was staying the night with him, and he was like, if you tell your parents that we watch these movies, I'm going to tell them that you are lying and you went and bought them on pay-per-view yourself. And then now I'm working with the guy, and like my uncle's coming out to see it. I'm like, this is crazy.
Oh, that's a
he
whole
doesn't
thing,
deserve that. He wasn't going to stand up for you? You know what I'm saying? The secrets between uncles is not a good sign.
But so I just thought that was cool because I hadn't even seen that, I guess, or he was even here, because that would have been a fun show to go to if I'd known about
it was so cool. He like complimented one of my jokes.
Nice.
I was like,
oh, nice.
That was like live with you for the
Yeah.
rest of your life.
It was like he was coming in the middle of my set, so he didn't hear the whole joke, and then was walking to the green room, so he didn't hear the punchline. So when I got to the green room, he's like, let me guess. And I was like, this is cool.
Oh, nice.
And then he guessed one of the punchlines, and I tried to insinuate there's more to the joke.
Yeah.
But he kind of was like, yeah, that's about right. That's a good joke.
That's cool.
Nice.
I was
Yeah.
like, nice.
That's great, man. That's so cool to get to work with people like him, and just like a legend. I mean, I assume he's been doing stand-up for as long as or longer than he's been making movies. I don't know. I don't know a ton about him.
I'm not really sure how long he's been doing stand-up.
But as far as just being funny, I mean,
No, he's been funny for so long.
no matter what, that's for damn sure. That's a cool experience, and like you said, getting to, because we were talking about that earlier, but just, you know, people here getting to work with big acts like that now, and just getting the experience of meeting them and getting the feedback is so helpful, I'm sure.
Oh,
Do the credits from that like help you
Yeah.
do whatever you
say
say,
it.
working alongside people?
I think it does in some sense. Like, if you like look at my Instagram, I don't have like a ton of followers. I have less than 1,000. But if you look through my like pictures and stuff, you'd be like, okay, wow, he's like working with like big people, so he can't just be like a nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
What does it look like when you go in there and they ask you to do something? They just call you up, they send you an email.
Yeah, they send like a message. It's either like email or Facebook. Typically email,
But when you go, you get that, and then you show up, and then you're like, they tell you, hey, don't talk to the guy, or you can talk to him. What's your? You just walk into the green room. Hey, what's up?
well, it's like, I mean, everyone deals with the green room differently. This is maybe so naive and whatnot, and like headliners and bigger comics would be like, what an idiot. But I'm from the impression this is my green room as much it is theirs.
Yeah.
I'm on the show, so I'm gonna be in the green room. And if I'm gonna be in the green room, I'm gonna make conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, we're not just gonna sit there in silence, just awkwardly.
What's your opener? The first thing you say right off the bat.
I'm just like, well, usually I'm just like kissing their butt.
Just say something.
I'm just like, oh my god,
As the host.
this is so crazy.
Yeah. I love you, John Heffron.
You're totally not dead.
Yeah. Oh, before we go any further, so I just want to ask you. Do you want to talk about it? Is that cool?
Yeah, you can talk about
Yeah. So I don't know if this is the biggest bomb. Was that one of the hardest bombs that you've had?
No, because I didn't bomb.
You didn't bomb? Okay,
It was up to that day, that was the best set I've ever had.
Oh, really?
I murdered the set.
Okay, so go ahead and explain the situation. Yeah.
So it was the first time getting to host at Bricktown. They were letting me host for John Heffron's first person to ever win Last Comic Standing.
Oh, okay.
So pretty big name.
Yeah.
Super honored to do it. He comes. I'm supposed to only do the Thursday show because Friday, Saturday, the host is able to make it. So do the Thursday show. It goes well. When he gets off stage, he's like super sick and like has to be like rushed to the hospital.
Damn.
We're like, oh my gosh, that's scary, you know? So then the next day, I want to say they canceled the late show. So they're
Well,
like,
I was at the early show, and he got sick on stage, and he had to get off.
well, that was Saturday. That'd
Was
be
that
Saturday.
Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So Friday, I think they canceled the late show, and are like, he's able to do the first show, but he can't do the second one. So he does it. Then, no, they have the second show. He just can't do it because he's not feeling good. So they call me back up to host. I get to host a second show. I'm like, this is super cool. I was working at the club at the time, so super convenient. I'm already there.
Oh, nice.
Then Saturday comes. They're like, he's all good to do both shows. No worries.
Yeah.
First show in, he starts having a like almost breakdown on stage. It's like about like 7 minutes into his set.
Yeah.
Like super
And
early
we were
on.
up pretty close up front, and we were, like, he was sweating. Well, he was having vertigo is the problem. Yeah.
That's the whole deal.
Yeah.
With it. Okay.
They couldn't turn the lights down too low because it made him nauseous. He had to sit down because he was shaky.
Yeah.
He couldn't turn his neck because it made him nauseous.
Yeah.
But he was still killing.
He is still, yeah, I mean,
Still doing
that's
well.
like
Yeah.
tough to even to have to go through that. It's like, I'm still going to be out here and perform,
Yeah.
you know.
He made
do
jokes
this.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go
But
ahead.
then there was a point where it's like, all right, this is getting a little out of hand.
Yeah.
And so the manager
good.
calls it, and he goes up to like the club, and they're like, get John off stage. So then they're like on the side of the stage, like, John, come off stage. You're like, you're done, you're good.
Yeah.
Like, come off stage. And he's not doing it. So the manager's like, flash the red light at him. So they start flashing the red light. But Bricktown had just got a brand new light. And it's designed so that the audience can't see the light.
Yeah.
So he's getting flashed like crazy with this red light, and no one else can see it. And he starts, what's going on?
Look,
Oh,
You guys,
freaking out
that
even
explains
more.
that.
you see what's happening, you know? And he's having like a freak out on stage, to the point that they like had to go on stage and just like get him off.
Help him off.
Then like they just played a John Heffron YouTube video and rushed everyone their checks. And they're like, we're sorry, like
That
all this
sucks.
stuff. So they're like, there's no way John can do the next show. We're gonna have you host. We'll have the host feature and then the feature headline. And so then I'm like, this is awesome, but all these people Saturday night are showing up to see John Heffron.
Yeah.
I can't, and I'm the first person to go up. I can't avoid that,
Yeah.
you know? And now, if you were a more experienced comic, let's say it's not your first time hosting, you would be very aware that at the door they're letting people know John Heffron's not going to be there.
Right.
I don't have to say anything, but I don't know this. So I'm taking it upon myself to be like, I have to let the audience
I have
know.
to break the news.
You know? And I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do. The feature, I go up to him. His name's Mike Eaton. I was like, you think I should, like, say something? And I think maybe he said it jokingly in hindsight. But
About it.
he did say, tell him he's dead. And this is 30 seconds before I go on stage. And I'm like, full send. All right. So I just go up there like, I don't know if you guys heard or not, but John Heffron is dead.
Oh, God.
And it, to this day, is my favorite experience I've had at comedy, because I watched a wave of emotion change of just
shit.
like, what?
Especially because they're all his fans.
Yeah.
Like...
And then I'm just like,
oh, shit.
I'm just kidding.
Listen,
He's too sick to perform. Aren't we happy he's not dead?
did it hit though?
No.
They were just, you brought him down too hard.
So,
Damn.
Talk
none
about
of that
building tension,
hits.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
So then you have to try to recover.
Yeah,
and...
I make a joke about it where I'm like, wow, I'm going to have to dig myself out of this hole, you know? And then I do. I just murdered my set.
That's a good thing, because I've talked about, I think last week we were talking about, but it's just like calling out the elephant in the room. Like, I think as a performer, but as a human, a lot of times when you're in any conversation, it's like, you know, it's the best thing to do. If you feel awkward about something, a situation you're in, just say it immediately, as soon as you can. And that will change your mindset immediately, because you're going to feel better and not feel embarrassed about it, but also get the audience to laugh about it. But so how did the rest of the set go after
So
that?
yeah, I just murder the rest of the set. To that,
which is
up
good.
to that day, that's the best set I ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just goes extremely well.
Nice.
And I get off stage, and management's like, get in here.
No.
And I get in there hyped. You know, I just killed my set. And they're like, what was that? And I'm like, right, dude? Right? That was in me the whole time.
You're thinking they're gonna like be like, oh man, you're the best comic we've seen.
Gold star moment.
Yeah. And they're like, you said he's dead. I was like, I did do that, didn't I?
You should be like, hey man, homeboy told me to say that.
And they're like, the other comics are pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, you can't go back in the green room. And I'm like, oh man. So then I just had to like
hang out,
chill and hang out. And they were like, at the end of the show, they were like, you need to go apologize. I was like, yeah, of course. If like I offended him, for sure I'll apologize. It was not my intent. So I go in there, and he's in the corner trying to survive, you know.
So yeah, he was there the whole time.
He was there, yeah.
Oh, wow,
Well, he was informed of what I did too, because apparently after I said that, one of the comics then went back and told him, like, you're not gonna believe what the host just said. It's like, the host said you're dead. And then Jon was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
And so then one of the other comics got extremely butthurt about that and tried to have me like taken off early. But I went back, I go apologize to Jon. I'm like, I'm sorry, Jon, if I offended you. That truly wasn't my intention. It was just a dumb joke I made in the heat of the moment. And John Heffron's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, why would he care? He's a comedian. He understands their jokes.
I mean, you could be offended by it, but like you said, I mean,
if you let it go on,
Yeah.
you know, and then it becomes a Facebook
Right.
post. Jon dies at 49.
Yeah, if I don't immediately tell them afterwards, maybe.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just turn to the other comics, like, well. And then they're like, are you just hanging out or are you leaving? I was like, oh, I'm leaving. But I did win this.
That's good. It sounded like you handled it as well as you could. I mean,
Yeah, a lot better than that Dell City show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a lot better than that.
But so that's a fun story for sure. I had a kind of just going back to just when you started comedy. What made you want to get into comedy in the first place? Like, was there any inspiration? Did you always want to be a comic and just kind of finally got to the nerve to try it and get started? Or
I think that there's something in me that's always wanted to be a comic, but I wasn't aware of that for a while. Because I have, like, memories of watching, like, not even watching. I have memories of thinking about stand-up in the first grade.
Oh, okay.
And I have no frame of reference of
like
what stand-up I could have possibly seen at that point. But I remember thinking, like, that's a cool job
Yeah.
because you're just sitting there talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
Or standing in front of a crowd with a microphone. I mean, that's kind of like, I think of that kind of memory as a child, and it's like, even if I hadn't seen any stand-up, you'd seen somebody, tell jokes, and you probably seen like Late Night or something,
And so I think that as I got older and I realized, like, oh, I don't have the skills to do this, or I don't have the drive to do that.
Right.
I was like, I still like comedy. Like, like in college, I would watch stand-up for hours on end, just like back to back, just because it like was so interesting. And then the club was hiring, Bricktown Comedy Club, and I was like, this is perfect. Like, I can just watch the comics. I don't even have to pay to see the
So
comedy.
that was your initial thought, was like, this is like working at a movie theater. It's like, oh, free movies, like.
And then I was just like watching comics, and you're like, I could do this.
Yeah, you start seeing yourself in that position, and you're like, oh, maybe.
And I had been writing jokes for like 3 years up to that point, with
really?
no reason for it.
liked
It's not like I
writing.
was like, I'm gonna take these on stage. I was just writing them. I don't know why.
You
just liked it? You were just sitting there like, oh, that's a good one.
It was like you're subconsciously preparing yourself in a weird way, probably. Yeah, it seems like, or interesting what you said about, I think, when you're looking for a way to express yourself, however it is, like in an art form of some kind, and finding the one that you like, because I mean, we talked about playing instruments, you try guitar, try, music, and you're like, yeah, this isn't for me, but you find comedy, and you're like, oh, I can do this using your voice and your sense of humor and expressing yourself into the world. I think that's what we're all trying to look for, so it's cool that you found that in that way. And
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like something I can't imagine life without at this point.
Yeah, it's cool.
You would always just do it.
Yeah.
Even if you weren't getting anywhere.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
if I
You
was
just-
still just hitting JJ's every week, I would still go
So, it's
because
in
like
you.
it's fun. Like I feel like mentally like unstable when I haven't done mics in a week.
Oh, really?
Like last week, I hit one mic before one or two mics before the trip, and I was losing it. I was like, it is not okay up here.
Yeah.
Like I gotta get this stuff.
What do you think it does for you?
I think it just like declutters my mind. Cause like it's not even like new thoughts that I'm saying up there. It's all things I've thought. But it's kind of like, all right, I got the comedy done, and now I can just chill.
You can
Whereas-
present it, right?
Whereas like if I haven't done comedy in a while, in the back of my mind, I'm like, can I still do comedy?
Oh, yeah.
Like-
yeah. Every Tuesday, I'm like, can I still do this?
Yeah.
You go up to Bricktown. That's usually whenever I get the most nerves. It's right before Bricktown on a Tuesday. But I like the idea of like really coming together as a collective with the comedy community and like working with each other. That's something I like about Jen Shamron and Dave Branch and Tanner when they had that Roastamania at Bricktown.
My name is Jennifer Shamron. I'm going to be at a roast show at Bricktown Comedy Club Sunday, August 27th at 7 p.m. This is how good I am at roasting. See that guy? Hey, you! Where'd you get your beer from? Walmart?
Is they came together and did like reels and stuff.
Yeah, like collaboration.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's Oklahoma City and Tulsa, and it's like, I mean, Oklahoma City itself, including Norman, including, it's pretty big, and there's a lot of space. I mean, a lot of people that they want to go to shows. People need to be entertained. I mean,
Yeah.
And I think it's like the trip opened my eyes to like we could be doing so much more at so many more places.
yeah.
Because like in New York, it doesn't need to be a bar. It doesn't need to be a venue that holds shows. It doesn't need to be a big room. It needs to be
A room.
somewhere.
A public
Yeah.
space.
And
with,
then-
yeah.
They're like, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
And we could easily do that. And then they also are all constantly on top of like posting about their friends' stuff, posting about their
helping
stuff,
each other,
making sure that like people want to go to these things.
It's like making it a bigger deal, because I think something I've realized, and since Nick started doing comedy, I mean, especially this is like post-COVID and stuff too, that like there's so many comics here, and I think that there's definitely a people, like I said, people love comedy. Netflix, stand-up is one of the biggest things on Netflix. You know, people love going to see comics, but it was just a interesting thing to see how much of a community there already was in Oklahoma City, even before the pandemic. You know, meeting so many of you guys, and it's like, you guys have been doing this for a while, you know, like, I think they've struggled, but now there are the open mics available, and there's getting more and more.
Well, there was like a little blow up, I think, a while back, but I always feel like there's a disjointedness between all of the comics. You know, like there's kind of an old guard and like a newer one, and I would like to see that mesh. You know, because if we all kind of stood together, ideally.
Yeah, we
could bolster the comedy scene together.
Make it even, like, show how big it is, I think, is a big thing that people don't realize. It's like, oh, there's a lot of comics out here that are doing a lot of work, and it's like, it's like most normal people that don't know any comics or don't know, it's like, they go on Facebook and look what comedy events are happening, you know? It's like, if you don't have it up there, if your show isn't there, then how are they going to see it?
Or if it's hard to find, even that.
Exactly, it's like making it, and like you were saying, if we all share each other's stuff, make sure that everybody knows there's these events going on.
Because every time you see something, it's like an extra percent. It's 2 more %.
Right.
It's 2 more % that they're willing to come.
Yeah, I think that's something that I try to push for with this, and I do myself. I'm always sharing other people's stuff that most of them I do know. I like to meet people and become friends with them, but it's even if I don't know them, and it's like I know who they are, it's like, oh, they're doing a lot of work, they're working hard, here, I'm gonna share their thing too.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, I don't see that very often, and when I do see it, it's like, oh yes, this is like, I try to encourage that, of course, but it's not nearly as often as it should be. But I think, I think a lot of it is just, we will share stuff for our friends, or maybe not, we should. But it's like, we just need to all be better friends, too. I think if we just get to know each other more, then, it'll be much easier to get that. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, go towards the resistance, I guess. So the strategic communications, how do you think that's helped your comedy? You've told me about it a couple of times, but I figure it might be, like, what specifically helps you form your ideas, make it effective against the audience, and make it funny?
I don't know if it's translated. So the thing that helps the most is like the whole idea of it is turning your thoughts into things, like whatever medium necessary, written, video, like whatever. That's helped a ton with joke writing, where I have the thought and the mindset of like, this is what I'm trying to get to. So now it's just about making that a like concrete thing. So I think that's helped a lot. And then it also helps a lot in like reading a crowd. Like, I think a lot of comics, and I struggle with it a lot too, so I'm not like in any way perfect. Right. But a lot of comics struggle to pivot if it's not going well. They're like, I'm going to keep pushing through because they just they haven't got it yet. So once they get it, they'll start liking these jokes.
But I think to like force the audience to understand what you're saying.
I think with like the stuff I got from Stratcom, it's kind of like, oh, I can see in their like body language, I can see how they're reacting, that like, I'm not going to turn this around. I can either pivot or lose this.
What's the point of no return, do you think? Like, what you go, all right, let's switch it up.
Yeah, like how quickly. I think it's probably
so
helps
hard to gauge
when you recognize it. That something's off or something. I think that's kind of maybe how it helps in a way where you can. Because like you said, body language is a massive thing. I think people don't recognize how useful it is to pay attention to that in any case.
That's helped me here recently is like, I'll pick, like if I My stuff's real easy. It's like real digestible. It's all family
Yeah.
stuff. I don't usually cuss or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I told one dirty joke. And I just don't like the way it feels. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's really. But what I can recognize is like somebody's laughing, and then you go to them and try to make them laugh more, and then people want to be in on it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a thing. But and then interactions.
Yeah.
Like I use like the jokes as a jumping off point to like interact with people. But as far as like reading, I don't even. It's just it feels like it's almost like I'm in the moment. You got to just kind of go with it. I don't even know what I'm doing. You know.
I don't even know if it's like a quantifiable thing. I just think like in the moment I'm doing it, and like either the laughs don't hit a certain way, or I can see some sort of movement, or I'm like, it's a lost cause. Like we gotta like.
So it's just feel.
Yeah, but I also don't write sets, so that's part of it.
Oh.
Like I don't go up there with a plan of like, I'm gonna do this joke and then this joke and then this joke. I just go up with the first joke, the last joke, and a middle joke.
So like whatever fills in around that's good.
How do you feel that out? So like you do your first joke, you're like, all right, let me go with my NPR jokes with this one.
So like, I try to like gauge the crowd on the walk up to just superficially be like, what do I think these people would like?
Yeah.
So that after the first joke, depending on if that joke hits, I can go into something that normally goes from there, or it's like, oh, I see these people are this way, so I'll try to go into this joke.
Oh, nice.
That's good. You kind of leave yourself open to pivot. You kind of have pivot points, if you will. Like you're like, okay, I can go this way or this way, depending on what they do to this reaction.
It's kind of like an actual conversation. You're like talking to somebody, and you're like, this guy does not like me talking about
Yeah.
dicks right now. I'm gonna go switch to something else.
Like,
But I also don't
not
think
a dick guy.
I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. Like, I think I would be a better comic if I would sit down and like write a set out. So it would be like, this can lead into this, and then I'll have a callback for this and this to that. But I don't think that's
different
fun.
approaches. I mean,
Like,
Well, John Heffron, I mean, I listened to him on Hot Breath, and he talked about how he kind of like puts things together. And one of it was he does like a mind map thing, but he'll put his jokes all on the mind map and then like kind of like get to different areas.
Oh, so you can bounce back and forth between different
but it gives
ideas.
you a bird's eye view of what you're kind of messing with. You know? I mean, that was before he died, you know?
Yeah, R.I.P. It's just more exciting that way, you know? Like, it's like a tightrope, because I also tend to drink before I go on stage. So there's a very real possibility that no jokes are going to come to mind.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to be like, well, I guess we'll start riffing.
So sometimes does that happen? Does that you go up there and you're like, damn, where am I at?
I think, like, for the most part, the audience isn't going to be able to tell that, like, I'm losing it up there. Like, I don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
But I'll throw in some filler words to be like, this will give me a time to think about. Like, sometimes I'll be like, oh, wow, you guys are not going to like this next joke, but I'm going to say it anyways.
Yeah.
With no frame of reference of what joke I'm about to say. Because,
And then whatever comes out of your mouth, kind of like, okay, that's what it is.
because I'm just, like, taking that time to be like, what jokes do you have?
Yeah.
What jokes have you done?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So in
I
the
like
2
that.
years, how much time do you have total of like good stuff?
I mean, who's to say any of it's good?
Yeah.
Like,
It's good, man. You're really
how
good,
long
yeah.
have you? What's the longest set?
the longest set I've done is like 25 minutes. Adrian Dole booked me for a 30 to 45 in January, so
Nice.
that'll be my longest. But yeah, 20, 25, that's about.
Yeah.
I'd probably have like 30 to 40-ish. But the problem is, if you aren't writing a set down, you're not going to recall every joke you wrote.
half an hour.
Yeah.
So
And
that's what I'm working on right now. I'm trying to be more structured.
Yeah. Do you have a list, or you just kind of go? I mean, is it all in here? Is it all in the brain?
I have like notes and stuff of like, just, they don't say the joke. They say like
a
things
reference.
associated with it, and like that reminds me of it. But like I'll look through my notes and be like, I don't remember writing that.
I don't even know what this is talking about.
I think we all got a little bit. That's pretty normal. Let's see. I wanted to ask. Oh, so you work for Bark Entertainment, and you're kind of like up against bookers. Like you weren't you friends with the old booker, Josh?
I mean, I knew him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like we're friends. We weren't like talking regularly or like things like that.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, in comedic networking, I mean,
Yeah, I
you knew
knew
him and you kind of
Yeah.
worked alongside. I mean, didn't you work with him too? Is that true?
No, I don't think I've done any shows with Josh. I mean, I've seen him before, and I knew who he was before, like, I worked for Bark. Like, I'd just seen him on Reddit as a comedian. I'm like,
Oh,
nice.
That's really cool. But so the question would be like, if you're looking to get out there, or you say you're going to Bricktown, how do you get how do you get to open? How do you get to be known and work for Bricktown?
So, I mean, Bricktown, they're a super cool club. They're really down to, like, give people chances and work with people. They've made it easier now because you can just, like, submit on the website.
Yeah, I did
to
that. Yeah.
like host and stuff. The key is like just getting known by them. Like
Getting on their radar.
it doesn't matter how hard you murder the open mics if they don't know who you are. Like you got to build a relationship with the club. You got to come when it's not just opportunities for you. Like they want people that are a part of the community and supporting the club. They don't just want just good comics.
Right. That's,
Yeah,
that's
that makes
what I've
sense.
said. It's like just hang out. You have to hang out there and go there and, actually, be a patron of a place. I think that most places, I say this about, like, if you want to play at the Blue Note as a musician, hang out at the Blue Note.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing that you have to do, I think, if and if you don't already know anyone there or whatever.
Yeah, support the things you want to see.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Man, yeah. Whenever I realized that it was like down the street from my house, like it was like maybe 10 minutes away, I was like, I'm gonna be here every day, no matter what. Like I was there for like a year before I even got up. I was just like, and I knew who you were. I knew who I had my favorites. I thought you were a dick.
Yeah, probably.
but like in a fun way. I was like, "Damn, this guy's good,"
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. And then Brandon, I was like, "That guy's killer." But then you would see other people go up, like newer people, and you'd be like, "Oh, I'd probably pull that off. I can at least stand up there and stammer."
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So I went ahead and I booked that because JJ hit me up. I asked him like, "Hey, how do you do the hosting thing?" He's like, "Well, you just sign up at the bottom of the open mic links. At the very bottom, it says I would like to host."
Did you sign up on the open mic link or
no,
on
no,
the
the-
Bricktown website?
The Bricktown one. The one at the bottom, it says I would like to host a show.
Okay, go to the Bricktown website. I
Yeah.
think that's an old one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
thanks, JJ.
Go to the Bricktown website, go to the contact page,
Okay.
and then it's like scroll down a bit, and there's like a click here. If you
Okay.
wanna-
Yeah, I'll check that out. Yeah, I'll send it. I've already got everything ready now.
Did it
so-
say you needed a clean video? Because the old ones, okay, you probably did the right one. Then.
Okay.
The old one said clean.
Well, I did that one, and then once I realized, like, oh, it's just on the website, I went to a bunch of websites around the Midwest and like just sent my stuff. I was like, hey, I'd like to just host or.
That's
something.
the way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, closed mouths don't get fed.
I've been saying that all my life, obviously. All right. I think for the most part. Oh, what are some of your favorite comics, man? What do you-
Some of my
Yeah.
favorite comics. I mean, of all time, Norm Macdonald,
Killer.
Dimitri Martin,
I see that.
Yeah.
Doug Stanhope, Kyle Kinane. That's probably like all time. Currently, like my favorite. That's a tough one.
I'm right here. So.
I think it's cliche, but I mean, Mark Norman, like
Yeah. Yeah.
he's like everyone's favorite right now. He's a killer. You know who Drew Michaels is? He's underrated. He's super cool. He does a lot of one-man show stuff too. He has an HBO special. He's super dark, but very funny and like super thought-provoking. Like the stuff he says, you're like, wow, I would have never thought of that, but that's an extremely intelligent point.
Nice. I'll check him out for sure, dude. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like one more. We'll do one more. Hardest bomb.
Hardest bomb?
Yeah, one that sticks with you, that wakes you up at night.
I mean, it's not necessarily a bomb per se, but if I am up at night thinking about, wow, I should have done that better, I think about losing a roast battle to my ex.
I just do it over again.
Yeah.
What did she bring up? Just kind of, you got any, like a highlight?
Highlight?
Was it the small dick?
No, she was like, everyone knows about that. I don't even have to she talked about my nose, so that was good. Nice. She talked about me never making her finish. I was like, I didn't
With
know.
the nose?
I didn't know we could just lie up here, but okay.
Yeah.
No, I do replay that all the time.
Dude.
I'm like, I should have had better comeback.
Yeah. You were trying to be nice. You were pulling punches, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, she deserved to win. She's a killer.
She is, though. Yeah, man. I'm pretty impressed with the people that we have here. Like, I mean, like you said, it made me feel a lot better when you were like, dude, in New York, they're not like better as much as they're just like
Work harder.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I guess the final thing is really about what do you think is the biggest challenge for us here in the city specifically, but as a performer or comic for sure, but what is the biggest challenge? How do you think we should overcome it? And particularly for younger people trying to come up and be a performer.
I'd say like it's all about community. So like none of us are going to make it as performers if we don't have audiences. And we can't have an audience if whatever sector we're in, music, comedy, improv, acting, whatever, isn't a part of the community. Like we have to do things outside of our specific niche and support other things so that people are like, Oklahoma is a state for comedy. Like when you think of New York, you think of comedy.
Yeah.
When you think of like some places in California, you think of comedy. When you think of Austin, Texas, you now think of comedy.
Yeah.
Like, but it's not always been like that. It's that they took what they had and they made it a part of the community and made people want to be a part of it to the point that that's just their identity now.
Yeah.
So I think like we can do that. It's just like we were saying, the comedy has to come together more. We have to work together. We can't be like so divided, and just expanding out to not just comedy or not just music.
Yeah.
Like I want to throw a show at a roller rink.
Hell yeah.
I think that would be so cool. I think there's people that don't care about comedy that would still come to that because that's a fun idea.
Yeah.
And I think if you keep pushing the envelope with those things, it's only a matter of time before everyone on your Facebook is like, I gotta come to the next show at the haunted house, or I gotta come to the show at the neighborhood pool.
Yeah. So is there anything, what are you doing to make that happen?
So right now I'm trying to like start working on getting like a group of people that we can start consistently making reels and stuff. Because I think if you can get like a following making some sketches, then you can start making reels that are related to the events you're throwing. And if you can make those, then people are going to really start coming in.
Yeah.
If you can be associated with throwing really good shows, anyone will have it.
Yeah, you're right. And also, it's like having a show is almost like a currency, it feels like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because I've had, you know who Sam Miller is? He's a comedian.
I don't know if I do know Sam Miller.
But he's a hard working dude. I just followed him. I just found him. And, you know, he's just like. But then one day out of nowhere, he like hits me up. He goes, "Hey man, do you have a show I can jump on? I'm running by on these dates." And I was just like, No, I don't. But thank you so much.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's well, because you had talked about that recently. It's like now people are looking at you as this showrunner, and because you put shows together, which is cool. I think it's cool because it's like now, I mean, we're in control of some of these things. It's like you can put a show together, and it's like, why not?
It's not
anyone
hard,
can do
it's
it.
like a mic.
Yeah,
A mic and some lights, and I got those spotlights now that run on batteries, so it's like you can do. But the plan is to do it. We're making the van into the clown car, and it's gonna have like I got it set up right now to where it'll basically the side door will open. You just pull out the stuff. You set up the like right in front of the sliding door as like the stage, and then you can come in and out the back, and it'll have a curtain, so you just like come out the side door. But my PA, I got an inverter that'll run off of the van, so then the PA will run off the inverter. And then I have the spotlights that are battery, and they last 90 minutes. So our goal is to just run around town and just do ambush comedy.
That's tight.
Yeah, and just like pop up, even if like the cops show up or whatever, just like pop up somewhere, do it, and then load up and go.
Yeah, that's like you said. I mean, it's a different idea of something to incorporate comedy and, show it. I think in a different light in a way, like you said, in a rolling rink or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's so much we can do, so many avenues that are not explored, and we have an awesome scene, so like we can make it happen.
Yeah, the people are here. I mean, the performers are out there to do it. It's like you said, finding the audience, or I think it's, making sure the audience knows about these things is a big key.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and like you said, I mean, if anybody comes down and they're like, hey, I want to do a show, it's like, jump in the van, dude. We're going to do something. Yeah. That was kind of the idea on
That's
that.
A good
it's
idea.
like if anybody shows up, like, hey, I want to do a show, it's like, well, I got this van. I got some candy.
Anytime.
But that, and then one of the main reasons why I started doing shows is I just wanted something to do every month.
Yeah. Oh,
But then,
that's a good reason for sure.
Liz was like, she likes hosting events, so she's like, so she's always like helping and stuff. And then after you do so much, I feel like it just people start asking you.
Yeah.
And it's a good show. Like Lively Beer Works for sure is like one of our best local shows.
It's a fun. Well, they're there for it. Like Lively's like take over the place.
Yeah.
We don't care.
It's super cool.
Yeah, and there's tons of breweries. Oh, because you're doing a show, today technically on November 24th. Is that right? Right. So it's Friday, the Black Friday show.
Free show. So it's a real deal.
So upcoming events, we got Black Friday Jokes at Broke comedy show, November 24th, 8 p.m. featuring Brandon Killo, John McMillan, Jon Wallen, Sid Ham, and hosted by Kayvon Tagazadeh.
Yeah, man, that's a killer lineup, right?
It's a
I'm
stacked
gonna come out there. Where is the place?
It's on 39. Is that 39?
39th. Okay.
It's in like Bethany area.
Okay, yeah. I know that area. Yeah, it's a cool strip down there. They've got some stuff.
It's a nice little, quaint little bar. My friend Mitchell used to work there.
Cool. Well, that'll be a fun one for sure, and it's free.
Free
show.
That's awesome.
Black Friday, so
love
it's a
free
deal.
Stuff. Yeah, that's a good idea. Half off, all free shows. I just wanted to shout out Small Business Saturday in the Plaza. Will be Saturday. Go shop local for Christmas if you can. There's tons of cool places in the Plaza. I always like shouting out the Plaza because it's my favorite place. I mean, to hang out, the arts and the art community there and the shops. So check that out Saturday. Also Saturday, my friends at Mycelium Gallery will be doing, they've got lots of ornaments going on right now, like lots of handmade stuff made by local artists. But they're going to have Mycelium sessions with Ex Machina, doing some music and kind of just chill, hang out Saturday at the gallery. But go in there and they've got some cool stuff for Christmas presents. So
nice.
Probably going to go buy some stuff for, like the little ornaments. And they're not expensive. Yeah. I mean, they're all handmade, local artists too.
What are you going to get me? Are you gonna...
You got a Christmas tree. Well, they've probably got something that's like, oh, this looks like something Nick. It's just all random. very expressionist stuff, so it's all wild and kind of cool.
Nice.
I love it. That gallery is my favorite. So check that out Saturday. Also Saturday is Factory Obscura is doing the Future of Sound sessions with the Color of Art. Because Color of Art is a cool thing. They do like this. They put on events over the years now. I mean, it's been a while, and they kind of slowed down since COVID, but they're coming back, and they kind of like do it at different spots. They used to do it at Saints back in the day before it was turned to Rad Bar. But they would have music, live music, and they would have people, you know, you could go up and paint and do, they'd have like easels, I think, set up and stuff like that. So you'd paint along with the music and get inspired by that, and that's the whole idea.
Oh, nice.
But they're teaming up with Factory Obscura this time, so that'll be interesting anyways. So they have the featured artists are from 8 to 8:30. Pop Soul songwriter Alyssa Danley with poetry by Alana Benet. 8:45 to 9:30. Neo Soul Metal music by Irvin Danoyosa with painting by Daniel Acuna. So that's my friend Daniel.
That's a little bit of something for everybody.
It'll be fun. I don't know. Factory Obscura, I love it because they're just, like I said, very also expressionist kind of stuff, and it's very cool. Just I get so inspired by that stuff. As I'm a graphic artist, but even as a musician and whatever I do, it's like I take in visuals and kind of you know, take them in and you re-output it in some other way. I feel like with, I don't know. That's why I like visual art in particular. So check that out. Also, coming Wednesday, you were saying.
Yeah, so Wednesday is going to be the following week, date night with the Martin Dupross. They're putting on a little show. They do props, and so it almost has like this improv vibe.
Entertaining.
Yeah, just fun, dude.
There's entertainers. That's why I look at them, you know.
At date night with the Martin Duprass.
That's right, and this time we've got Lynn Kay,
Olivia Likett.
Tyler B. Spears,
And Clown Life Art.
Date night. It's the only show in town that tries to get you laid.
And this time we're going beyond getting you laid. We're knocking you out of this world.
Into the troposphere.
Oh, beyond the troposphere, into the stratosphere, brother.
Into the exosphere.
Funny, just silly humor, but it's very fun and funny. Date night with the Martin Dupross at Point A Gallery, which is a new spot. You can do comedy there. I'm sure hit them up if you want to put a show on there. They're probably interested. So that'll be a fun one. But the date night with the Martin Dupross is the only show in town that tries to get you laid.
That's the that's the tag.
I mean,
that's good.
They're gonna try their best.
Yeah, this is like
it's up. You know, you gotta seal the deal yourself. But so yeah, they're awesome. Okay, so yeah, just $5. Check that out. November 29th on Wednesday.
Nice. What do you got? You got anything coming up? Things you want people to know about?
You wanted to shout out?
I think. I got Ugly Flamingo on the 29th with Trap Masters.
Nice.
So on Wednesday, the 29th.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we went out there. That's a cool spot.
Yeah,
so
I like doing that one.
Is that Miss Kitty?
Yep.
Yeah.
But she's letting people just kind of take it over and run it or host it. You know, keep it alive. It's a really great spot to like. I feel like that was where I took 2 5-minute sets and put them together for the first time for a 10-minute set, and then she let me host one time to practice, and then it's a really great place to like, what do you call it? Just like cut your teeth, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's tough. Well, I don't know. It's not even tough, man. They're drunk and they're there for it.
It was a fun time. Because it was one of those shows whenever you did it, and it was just like, it wasn't a huge crowd. There was a couple tables and like, but everybody was just having a great time. It was just like one of these kind of communal, like everybody was just there kicking it, having fun, you know? Like, and that was kind of like the show I felt like at the last Friday show that you put on.
The Put a Cork in It?
Put a Cork in It. Like that. I felt like that was a good crowd vibe. Like everybody was just there hanging out. I don't know. Whenever you get
that table of swingers.
Yeah.
There was like a table. Yeah, dude. They were old too. They were like 50, 60. They were swinging a lot. You know.
Wow.
This old lady was like, because I have that joke about my dad dating this lady who has like this thing that shocks her heart, right? And this lady was like, I got one. She's like, every time my titties bounce, it goes off. And I was like, you're just bragging, dude. Like, you know.
Yeah, it was a little much, but they were having a good time. So, and the comics were all like having fun with them, you know. So that was that's why I liked seeing that whenever it's like the crowd is really. I think it makes them feel a part of it in a way. It's like you're a part of the show. Not that you should, but I mean, it can be fun. I think.
Kurt and Tammy, dude. Kurt and Tammy.
Was that them?
Dude, that was like, and the best part about that is like you go right out and it's the river, right? So like you know where Michael Murphy's is? It's just underneath that. So if you go out, and then what we did, like it was a little, like people were coming in, but I was like, come on, Dave, we're going to go get some people. Mm-hmm. And we went out and I was just like introducing myself. There was like a crowd getting on this boat. I was like, listen up, everybody. We got this show over here. I had a kid who was like, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for your service.
But we got like 4 couples off the street.
Yeah, Bricktown is a good thing. I mean, that's a good, I think, obviously there's the Bricktown Comedy Club, but like you're saying, there's so many other spots in Bricktown that you could turn into a comedy show. And those are the people that want to go see a show, you know, after dinner or whatever.
Yeah, or they're just people aimlessly walk downtown.
Yeah, they're looking for stuff to do.
Just bad boyfriends, not planning. You know?
Yeah, so it's like Bricktown could be a much bigger scene for comedy easily.
Yeah,
I think it's on the way to it.
Yeah, hopefully. I always say that about Oklahoma City. I mean, I can't wait to see the city in the next 10 years or 10 years from now, and just to be like, you know, I think it's going to be so much bigger and so much more stuff going on. So it's exciting. But all right, so that's it.
All right, we did it, guys.
For the show.
Thanks, man.
Thanks
first
for
comic.
Coming, man.
Thanks
This was
for having
awesome.
me.
Yeah.
We finally got a comic on this show.
Yeah, every one of them just bailed.
I mean, like we never had any real comics.
Well, we got the funniest comic in OKC, so we finally get that bump.
But no, this has been a lot of fun. And thanks for giving us a couple hours of your time to come by and talk to us about your craft.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
So thanks everyone for watching. We still got an email address if you want to email us.
Some reader mail, we'll make fun of it. And we still haven't got any. This is the 11th episode, 12th episode. We're really looking forward for Liz to send us something if she ever watches these.
Email us at rhythmandwit@gmail.com if you want any comments or concerns or you want to shout out. We'd love to hear from you. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Like, Disney's racist. It's racist that Ariel's black. It's not racist to include other races. It would be racist if they changed aspects of the story because they thought that better fit a black Ariel. None of you were on board for this joke. So I'll give some examples. Like, it would be racist if they call it The Little Mermaid. It would be racist if her dad's not in the movie. It would be racist if she drowns. It would be racist if I continue this joke.